along with other babies, that would make the whole thing seem childish. How about I come around 5:30?
Admirably, admirably. Now I must not intrude any longer in this house of sorrow.
Oh, yes.
What seems just bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
This seems to me a blessing of an extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I'm so glad to see you back.
Hello, Cecily.
What horrid clothes you've got on. Please do go and change them.
Cecily.
Uncle Jack, what's wrong? You look as if you have a toothache.
Well, Cecily,
And I have such a surprise for you. Who do you think's in the dining room?
I don't
Your
know.
brother. Your brother Ernest.
But I haven't got a brother.
Uncle Jack, don't say that. No matter how badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he's still your brother.
No, but
I'll go
Cecily-
get him. And you can shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
Cecily!
These are joyful tidings.
After we had all been resigned to this loss, his sudden reappearance seems to me purely distressing.
Uncle Jack.
Good heavens!
Brother John, I have come up from the town to express my sincere apologies for all the trouble I may have given you.
Uncle Jack. You're not going to deny your own brother's hand.
Nothing would conduce me to take his hand, and he perfectly well knows why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There's some good in everyone. Ernest was just telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be some good in someone who leaves the pleasures of their own home to sit by a bed of pain.
He's been telling you about Bunbury, hasn't he?
Yes, he's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, he would not tell you about Bunbury or anything else for that matter. It's enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Oh, Cecily, you'll never forgive me.
Never, never, never.
That's the only time I'll ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see such a perfect reconciliation? I think we might leave the two brothers to it.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, my little task of reconciliation is over.
You've done a beautiful action today, dear child.
I feel quite happy.
Let us not be premature in our judgments.
Jack?
Algernon, I don't allow Bunbury here.
I've put Mr. Ernest's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is all right.
What?
Thank you.
Mr. Ernest's luggage.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. I've unpacked it and put it in the room next to yours. 3 portmanteaus, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon bag.
I'm afraid I can only stay for a week.
Algernon! Shh! Mary, call the dog cart. Ernest has just been called back to town.
Yes, sir.
What a fearful liar you are, Jack. I haven't been called by anybody.
Yes, you have.
I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasure.
Well, I can quite see that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
You will not talk about Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous in them. Why on earth do you not go and change? It's childish to be dressed in mourning for a man who's actually staying in your house for a whole week.
You will not stay in my house as a guest or anything else. You have to catch the 4 or 5 train.
I certainly wouldn't leave you as long
Stop
as you
it.
were in mourning. It'd be most unfriendly if I did.
Algernon, stop.
If I was in mourning, wouldn't you stay with me?
Stop. What if I go change? Will you leave then?
I guess so. But don't take so long. I've never seen someone take so long to dress with such little result.
Well, it is better than to be overdressed as you always are.
Yes. Occasionally I am a little overdressed. But I make up for it by being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous, your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. But you have to catch the train. I do hope you have a pleasant ride back. This bumbering, as you call it, has had no great effect.
I think it's been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. I must go see her before I go. Make arrangements for another Bunbury.
There she is.
Oh, I merely came back to take care of the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
No. He's going to send me away.
And have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It's a very painful parting.
It's always painful parting from one you've just met. The absence of an old friend one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from one you've just met is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart's at the door, sir.
It can wait, Mary, for 5 minutes.
Cecily, I hope I do not offend you by stating quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? Oh, I'll do anything to read it.
You couldn't possibly. You see, it is simply a young girl's thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy, but pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down a dictation. I have reached absolute perfection, and I'm quite ready for more. Don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak clearly and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I first met you, I've dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think you should tell me why you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Oh, Cecily.
The dog cart is waiting, sir.
Tell it to come back the next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care very much for Jack. I don't care about anyone but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. We've been engaged for the past 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is always very much talked about is always very attractive. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
But when was the engagement settled?
On the 14th of February last, worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I was determined to end the matter one way or another. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. The next day I went out, and this is the true lover's knot I bought in your name.
Oh, did I get you this? That's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you have wonderfully good taste. It's the excuse I've always given for you leading such a bad life. Here's the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
Oh, Cecily, I haven't written you any letters.
You hardly need to remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week and sometimes oftener. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement were so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of March. Today I broke off my engagement with Earnest. It feels better to do so. The weather still continues to be charming.
But what had I done, Cecily? I hadn't done anything. Oh, I'd be very much hurt that you broke off our engagement, especially when the weather continued to be so charming.
Well, it would hardly been a really serious engagement if I hadn't broken it off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
Oh, what a perfect angel you are, Cecily!
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally, does it?
Oh, yes it does. With a little help from others.
I'm so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily.
I don't think I could break it off now that I've actually met you. And besides, there's the whole question of your name.
Oh, yes, of course.
You mustn't laugh at me, darling, but it's always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone with the name Earnest. There's something in that name. Something which inspires absolute confidence. I pity any poor woman whose husband's name isn't Ernest.
Cecily, do you mean to tell me you couldn't love me if my name was some other name?
What name?
Oh, any name. For instance, Algernon?
No, I don't like the name of Algernon.
Cecily, my darling, sweet, adorable Cecily. I really don't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It's not a bad name. I mean, half of the chaps who get into bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But really, seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest, and I admire your character, but I feel I would never be able to give you my undivided attention.
Oh, your rector here is, I suppose, practiced in all the ceremonials and rites of the church.
Oh yes, Dr. Tossible's the most learned man. He's never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him in the most important christening. I mean, the most important business.
Oh,
I'll be back in half an hour.
wait. Considering that we've only been engaged since February last, and that you only met me today, shouldn't it be rather hard to leave me for a period so long as a half an hour? Couldn't you make 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal into my diary.